It goes without saying that the sea holds some of the most fascinating creatures on the entire planet. Even more intriguing is the fact that it covers nearly 70% of the planet, and we've only explored a small 10% of that vastness. The creepy crawlies that reside in the ocean are worth the attention they get, while some of them are worth much more. This is 100M, and in this video, we'll be showing you 10 weird exploding sea creatures. Make sure you stick around to find out why dead whales can be just as scary as living ones. Number 10. Female octopus. There's no doubt that pregnancy is a pretty strange period. It doesn't matter what creature, human or otherwise, things can get pretty intense. For a certain regal sea creature, this time in their lives is incredibly grim. Octopuses, in general, are well loved by the science part of the internet, and what's not to love? They're funny looking in a great way, intelligent, and devious in the most hilarious ways. They can change colors, skin textures, and shapes almost instantly. They truly are fascinating. However, when females get pregnant, it becomes a suicide mission. That seems rather dramatic, but you'll soon find out why it isn't. Octopuses are semiparous animals. This means that they can only reproduce once in their lives, following which they will die. Who knows why Mother Nature decided on that cruel fate? But the deaths of these creatures are very gory and usually caused by self-inflicted harm. Days after hatching her eggs, the female octopus quits eating and starts wasting away. Erratic behavior begins and she finds ways to deliberately hurt herself, including eating her own tentacles and tearing off parts of her body. Those in captivity bang their heads against the walls of their tanks so hard that they could hurt themselves pretty badly, exploding their contents all over at death. Such a disappointing ending to a beautiful creature. Number 9. Male anglerfish. Anglerfish are a species of bony fish that are notorious for their characteristic mode of preying on other sea animals. They lure other fish towards them with a fleshy growth on the fish's head, only particular to females. Male anglerfish are drastically smaller than their female counterparts. Right from the moment they hatch, male anglerfish start searching for mates. They spend most of their early lives and energy looking for a mate, and once they find one, they latch on like parasites and never let go. This process is so shocking because once the male latches onto its mate, its tissues start to melt into the female's tissue. It literally explodes and merges its contents with the female's contents. Their blood vessels become one, and even other organs. The anglerfish does not do anything while the female counterpart catches food for them both with the help of her lure. To summarize this horrifying process, the male gives up all his internal and external organs in exchange for sustenance. When it's time to mate, the male simply releases its sperm directly into the female's body and carries on feeding through her. Talk about a freeloader. Number 8. Snapperfish. There's something rather peculiar about deepwater fish and catching them for food. Fish are mostly made up of water just like human beings are. Every year, fishers who fish for sport unintentionally kill millions of deepwater fish. These fish end up dying even though they are handled with care and returned back into the water as quickly as possible. In this video, you can see these fishermen doing what they do best. However, after reeling their catch in, they quickly discover that the fish look weird. Very weird. Their eyes are bulging oddly out of their heads, and their stomachs are pushed out of their mouths. So why does it look like these fish are exploding from the inside out? Well, it's all science mumbo-jumbo, a phenomenon called barotrauma. This phenomenon occurs in deep water fish, which have a swim bladder, which is basically an internal balloon that helps them control their ability to float and swim. When they're pulled up out of the water, that internal balloon slowly starts to expand as water pressure reduces. The balloon expands so much that by the time the fish reaches the surface, the fish is dead. Its internal organs have exploded outward, and the whole thing just looks absolutely horrific. A terrible shame. Number 7. Eels. Eels are known for their shocking ability. At least the electric ones are. But what many people do not know is their ability to be really slimy. I mean, super disgustingly, absolutely yucky and sticky sort of slimy. A truck transporting live eels on their journey to Korea, where they are regarded as a delicacy, suddenly overturned on an Oregon highway, unleashing the muckiest accident scene ever seen. What came next after the truck tumbled was an explosion of these live water eels all over the highway, bursting with immeasurable amounts of goo all over the road. Eels typically release this goo when they feel threatened or want to catch prey. It turned out that being spewed all over the asphalt roads felt like a truckload of threats to them. Uncreative pun intended. It took gallons and gallons of water to flush out the goo from the road, but you could be sure of one thing: the entire region would stink of fish goo for weeks, and maybe even months. Number 6. Jellyfish. Jellyfish are no doubt fascinating creatures of the marine world. They are noted mostly for their extremely painful sting, but what many might be unaware of is their shocking ability to explode. When a group of jellyfish finds prey, one member is sacrificed to feed the group. This sacrificial jellyfish contracts its body and starts to sink. Afterward, it generates a spark near the prey, igniting hydrogen and oxygen. This causes a detonation that causes a shockwave, killing itself and the prey. The rest of the colony gets to feed on the prey, while the brave soldier simply just dies. Number 5. Exploding worm. I'm not particularly a worm hater or anything, but they're not exactly on the top of my favorite animals list. The worms down under the sea, though, are something to be marveled at. In this footage shot during a night dive in the ocean in Cozumel, Mexico, you can see these marine worms wriggling and twisting as worms usually do. However, something really interesting happens. Out of nowhere, the wriggling figures suddenly explode and disappear into thin air. I wasn't particularly sure if saying thin water was right, but moving on. This worm literally exploded, and as you can see, it looks like there's hardly anything left. What a strange phenomenon. Number 4. Another exploding octopus. If you go right now to your search box and search for clever octopuses, you'll find yourself giggling in no time at their smart antics. Octopuses are like the chameleons of the sea, and while they may be gorgeous, great sea buddies, and intelligent beings to watch and learn about, you might be surprised to find out how they react when you invade their personal space. In this video, you can see someone holding a small octopus. At first, the octopus tries to crawl away, and then out of nowhere, it shoots out a lot of black ink, causing its spectators to totally freak out. Obviously, it was not digging the celebrity lifestyle with several eyes on it. These creatures can be extremely territorial, but thankfully this is not another female mama octopus exploding herself to death. When octopuses get threatened, they immediately launch into a series of self-defense mechanisms, as one would expect of any creature. The octopus will then seemingly explode, releasing a thick cloud of black ink in a bid to distract the predator and find its escape. That was precisely what that tiny little octopus in the video did, and it did succeed in pulling off the shock effect. Told you they were super clever. Number 3. Sea cucumber. Sea cucumbers are marine animals with leathery skin and elongated bodies, basically found on the seafloor worldwide. They are great for eating and are considered very healthy for the tons of nutrients they offer. Clearly, whoever named it a sea cucumber did not give it enough credit. They might be soft, warty tubes that seem just awkward looking if anything, but these sea creatures can be deadly. Some of these sea cucumbers can secrete a poison so deadly that it can kill predators at a moment's notice. Others shoot sticky threads through their butts to tangle up predators, an interesting way to attack, wouldn't you say? While these defense mechanisms don't seem too extreme, some take things up a notch. In fact, several notches. When some sea cucumbers feel threatened, they initiate a process called evisceration. This means that it literally shoots out or ejects all its internal organs and intestines at a predator. What this does is distract the predator, who thinks, "Ooh, yummy, free food," and gives the sea cucumber enough time to inch away and escape to safety. Yes, it literally risks its life by exploding all its contents so that it can have a fighting or running chance to possibly survive. There are many things that are badass, but that is just so borderline insane and totally cool. This picture was sent in by a subscriber lucky enough to get featured. If you find any photos on the internet that might interest you, make sure to send them over. Your picture might be our next best pick. Number 2. Strange sea creature explodes in Japan. This photo is a rather odd one, and we're going to determine if this creature is actually real. We did a little snooping around, as you would expect, and found the full footage of this creature, which supposedly exploded somewhere in Japan. As you can see in the clip, a bunch of guys discover a group of these weird creatures, and then see them rapidly escape, except one that did not manage to scurry along fast enough. So these guys think, hey, this might be a rare or undiscovered sea creature. How about we dose it with some Coke? So they pour a little Coke on the weird pinkish creature, and it does not appreciate the beverage. It suddenly ejects a whitish liquid out of its orifice and then proceeds to explode. While the video is oddly fascinating, the footage has been debunked and discovered to be part of a film production. There are no weird, coke-hating, liquid-spouting creatures in the sea. At least, not to our knowledge anyway.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So, here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck.
Number 1. Whales. No one might have bothered to tell you just yet, but not to worry, I'm here for you. Here's the gist. If you happen on a dead whale on the beach, do not go anywhere near it. Unless you're interested in smelling like fish guts for the rest of your life, then it's best to stay as far away as you possibly can. Why? Well, when a whale dies, the most unexpected thing happens. Whale carcasses are literally ticking time bombs waiting to explode. Out of nowhere, whale carcasses are known to randomly detonate and explode, spraying their contents on any and everything or person within a close enough range. What causes this detonation is actually a buildup of gases that decomposed inside the whale following its death. Since these whales are so thick and padded with a special oil-producing fat called blubber, the gases continue to build up until they reach a certain high level and finally burst out into the open. Yuck. I reckon the last thing you want is fish guts all over you. That's it, guys. We have officially come to the end of this video. Make sure to give us a big appreciative thumbs up and beat up that subscribe button so you get to see more amazing content